Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am just going to be getting ready for work with you guys, and I am using the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette again. I love this palette. It's really just a beautiful palette. You can create a lot of different natural looks. You can kind of make deeper looks. I'm just going to work today, so this is the look I did today. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm starting off using my Jade Gua Sha tool, and I've added this to my skincare routine, and I feel like it's really helped a lot. Basically what it is, it's like a jade stone, and you use it to stimulate your skin and massage it. It helps with lymphatic drainage, and overall I feel like it's just good for your skin to kind of stimulate it and bring the blood to the surface, and it gives you like more healthy skin. So I just take it upward a few times in different parts of the face. So I'll start off with my neck, and you can use like the edge of it and just do that a few times. I'm not going to go through the whole process, but just to kind of show you what I've been doing. And then just taking it, and I always go in like an upward motion. And I was using it like every day, but now I just use it a few times a week. I think it also helps with collagen production. Okay, now I'm going to apply my moisturizer. I use the Clinique Moisture Surge. This is like a gel formula, so it is very lightweight, and it's almost like calming to my skin. It just feels really good, and it's like moisture, but it's not like a greasy moisture. It just soaks right into my skin. And adding a little bit of eye cream. This is the Bobbi Brown Hydrating Eye Cream, and I just use a small amount. So I'm applying my foundation. I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in Warm Vanilla. My skin is really bad right now, and I've discovered I have an allergy to avocados, which is very, very sad because I love avocados. I've noticed that every time I eat it, I just get like bumps all over my skin. It's like not pimples, but like bumps. Like it just feels very almost like hives, and then I'll have like a few pimples. So it's very unfortunate because I do love avocados, but it's just not worth it to have my skin look like that and feel like that. It almost feels like my skin is like inflamed. So I don't know if it causes like inflammation. I think it's supposed to be one of the foods that reduces inflammation, but for some reason in me it just has the opposite effect. So also I had a recent health scare. So I went to soccer like I normally do on Saturdays. Patrick wasn't feeling well, so I think he wasn't feeling well or he was out of town, I can't remember. So I took Daniel with me, and he sometimes likes to go with me to watch my games or just hang out. And like we were leaving the fields, and I started getting this like weird pain in my stomach, and I was driving, and it just kind of felt like cramps, and like I got maybe a half a mile down the road, and I was like this is really bad, like I don't know what's happening. And he's like, Mom, just pull over and I'll drive. And I'm like, okay, I think I really need to pull over. I'm using the Reloaded palette today. I'm just going to start with this blur shade, and I'm going to put it in the crease. He's like, so just pull over and I'll drive. And I was like, okay. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is getting worse. It felt like my stomach was like tightening almost. It was like it almost felt like really bad cramps, like if you had food poisoning or something, but it was higher. It was more like up here in my stomach area. And I was like, this is getting really bad. Like the emergency room or the hospital was maybe like a mile away from there. So I was like, I'm just gonna drive to the emergency room because something is not right. And so I just kept going, and like the further we got close, I'm using Bucked now, this medium brown. So I started getting closer and it just kept getting worse and worse, and like I pulled into the parking lot and I could barely like park. I was like, I'm gonna have to pull up to like the emergency where you just drop somebody off. I'm just gonna have to pull up, but I didn't. I ended up finding a parking spot and I like barely parked, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't think I'm gonna be able to walk. And by this point Daniel's freaking out because I've never had any health issues or anything like that before in my life. Like since he was born, like he's never had to deal with, like, I get migraines a lot, but that's pretty much like the most of it. So I'm gonna take Bribe with a small shader brush, and so he is like freaking out. We get into the hospital room and I like literally could not talk. Like they were trying to check me in and I was like, Daniel, please tell them like my information, and they were like telling me that I needed to sign this stuff. Daniel like was freaking out and he called Patrick and he was like, something's wrong with mom, I don't know what it is. He called Adrian, like he was calling all these people, poor thing, because he was freaking out. And like I could not talk to the hospital staff. All I could do was like, I was doubled over on the floor at the reception desk. I felt like one of those weird people. I was like yelling. I was like, please help me. Like the pain was so bad that I had no idea what was going on. It almost felt like it was like a pain in my chest. So I was just freaking out. I had no idea what was going on. I'm going to be taking Reputation. I'm going to use that other brush I was using. And I'm going to put this in the outer corner and kind of blend on my lid. But I was just like freaking out. I was like, felt like I was dying. Like I literally thought I was going to die. Like that's how much it hurt. And it felt like my chest tightening. I didn't know if I was having a heart attack or what it was. So they got a wheelchair finally, and they somehow signed me in. I don't know, because I could not talk. Like I literally could not talk, and that's not like me. I feel like I can handle pain pretty well. I get migraines regularly, like the ones that like put you out like in bed in the dark for like 5 days. So I'm pretty good at dealing with pain, but this was something completely different. I'm gonna take a little bit of Endgame, this really dark brown, and so they got me in a wheelchair, and I was literally like one of those people in the emergency room that's like screaming. I'm like, help, like something's wrong, like please make it stop. Like I just did not know what to do, and I could tell that Daniel was getting really embarrassed. He's like, Mom, like, are you okay? Like people are looking. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. And finally they took me back, and by then it had stopped. Like it just stopped all of a sudden. Like it just slowly like got better, and then it finally just stopped. I'm gonna take this underneath my lower lash line. And so even thinking back about it, that was like the scariest time in my life, I think. I'm going to move on to my face really fast and contour. So they take me back and they run some tests, and they figured out that it was my pancreas, or my levels were really high. It's like a certain level that they can tell what's wrong with you. Whatever that level was, it was pretty high. If you guys want to know what it is, I can look it up, I guess. But it was pancreatitis. They did an ultrasound to see, because sometimes that can happen if you have like a kidney stone, and kidney stones are supposed to be really, really painful. So basically they said I had acute pancreatitis, so like some kind of attack. And I don't know if that's what it was, but if that's what passing a kidney stone feels like, I do not ever want anybody to ever have to feel like that. That was the like absolute most pain I've ever been in my life. I don't even remember, like that could have been what childbirth felt like. It's been so long, I don't remember. But it was really, really bad. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the way I've been eating. Usually those like kidney stones and things like that are caused by your diet, like a really high fat diet, which I do eat pretty high fat. I am adding some liner. So that's kind of scary. My parents both died at like a pretty young age from health issues, so it's really scary. My mom passed away at like 55 and my dad was 39 and I'm 39 right now. So it was just like it was just like a weird awakening, like, oh my gosh, I'm getting older, like health things could start happening, health issues. So I really just want to be healthy and focus on my health, and you really take that for granted because that was something that I never, like, I just didn't expect that. And my kids were really scared. Patrick rushed to the hospital and he was there with me, of course, and I was like completely fine by the time he got there, and he was really scared. We were all just like really scared, and I don't ever want to leave like my kids, or I don't know, scary, not to make this like depressing, but just to know that there are things out there. And now that I've experienced it and it's happened to me, I've been seeing more people talking about it, so I don't feel so alone. Like, pancreatitis is actually pretty common, and the weird thing is that it's caused by alcohol. A lot of times it's either caused by alcohol or it's caused by like a kidney stone. Anyways, on a more positive note, I have been really in the mood to film videos. Like, I really miss it. I was looking back at my channel and I used to film all the time, and I know it's just because I don't have the time that I used to have, and I'm just like doing a lot of things in my life right now, but I do miss it. And I love Instagram and watching people's stories, and I wish that I was like brave enough to do that, like put my life out there like that. YouTube is like the best platform for me to connect with you guys, I feel like, because I really like watching YouTube videos. Like, that's probably my favorite thing as far as any social media platform. I feel like YouTube is my favorite. Like, it's the one that I can sit down and relax and watch. I love just watching people do their makeup or talk about anything. And I like the smaller YouTubers. I don't necessarily like to be sold on something constantly, so I don't know. It is what it is. That's my feelings about it. But I just like watching other real people that have like similar things that I do, and like to just do their makeup, and it's relaxing. So okay, now I am going to add some lip gloss. Like I said, I'm going to put all of the products down below, so if I didn't mention what I was using, I will put, it's pretty much the same thing that I used in my last video. I'm going to add a little bit of Tarte Fake Awake. Are you having fun down there? Lexi just, I don't know how she got it, but she has my gua sha tool. Hey, you can't chew on that. So this is it. Thank you guys for getting ready with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.